Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We're going to get back with part 6 of the Q&As with Amberlynn and Reid. Now, quickly, this is another yes or no one, so this should go a little bit faster in comparison to some of the other ones. One of the videos took like half an hour. That's because I went on a tangent about like female characters in media, but I'll try to stick to the script and try not to go off course too much this time. That being said, if I go on a little bit of a tangent, I will try to cut it down as best I can. No promises, of course, but let's just get straight into the video, shall we? Starting off the first one, we have you done the deed in the car? To which Amber replies, yes. And like, I get it. Amber is like very stunted mentally. She's like a teenager, preteen, but like you don't have to answer these questions. That's even if you don't make them yourself and send them in just for you to answer, which I wouldn't be surprised if she does that. But just because someone asks you these invasive questions, it doesn't mean you have to answer them. There are plenty of other questions that you don't want to answer, so you don't have to answer these ones either. Like, who cares if you do it in the car? Like, most people don't even think it's going to be real because the likelihood of you being able to do it comfortably is very slim. Moving on to question 2, we have embarrassing question, but would you have relations more than once a day? To which Amber replies, yes. And again, this really comes off as like this cringy teenager bragging type stuff. Like, it's like listening to Amber say, hey guys, you know the sex, I have the sex with my partner Tommy. We like to have the sex because she likes bigger girls and she likes watching me eat food while we have the sex. It wants to bet that Amber puts the in front of sex in order to make it sound more interesting or like exclusive, like it's some sort of special thing that not everyone does. Like how she puts the in front of Amazon, so it's the Amazon, or YouTube, or how it's the YouTube. Like, try to make it sound a little bit more interesting or like exclusive, like you have to be in the know to know. Moving on to question 3, we have you ever been in any type of romantic relationship with a man? To which Amber replies, yes. Now, I think Amber has dated a biological man at one point, but that being said, Casey is a trans man who Amber has gone on the record for multiple times misgendering him, and we don't play that game here. We don't absolutely do that shit. You respect his identity, and you move it along. We don't need to go into, oh, he is this, he is that. Nope. He identifies as a man, he is transitioning, he is a man, full stop. Moving on to question 4, we have, not to be nosy, but are you saying that Alexis is 300 pounds? To which Amber says no. Amber, it doesn't take a genius to figure out she's around 300 pounds. She is easily 300 pounds or plus. Now, that's no hate to Alexis, that is simply just what it is. That being said, you indirectly did say that she was 300 plus pounds. You said that you are 500 pounds, but people are saying she is the same size as you, which if you take 500 pounds minus the 200 in which you said that Alexis is 200 pounds lighter, that is 300 pounds. It is simple math. It came out of your mouth saying that she was 200 pounds lighter than what you were. You were 500 pounds, take 200 pounds, she is 300 pounds. It is literally a simple, I was going to say division, it's subtraction, idiot. It's subtraction, very simple. Moving on to question 5, we have, do any of your exes regularly watch your vlogs? Now, Amber can't say for sure that this is true, but if I had to guess, I would say that it would be probably Destiny and maybe Erica, because those two seem like they would watch the content. I feel like Destiny would probably continue on with watching like Karina Kaboom and like Oh Lordy and Shorty, but I would think for the most part, it'd probably be like Erica and Brittany hate watching Amber's vlogs. Question 6, we have handcuffs, to which Amber says yes. I mean, the entire point of handcuffs is to restrict one's movements, and like Amber, you're basically immobile at that point anyway, so like, it probably takes you about a good minute and a half to get up off the bed, so I wouldn't really think you would need them. Oh god, I'm such a condescending prick. Moving on to question 7, we have, was the messed up Panera order real? 2 chips and you asked for an apple? And Amber says yes. Now, I've heard, because we don't have Panera over here, but I've heard a lot of people say that Panera itself is like very easy to mess up the orders, and they will also substitute a lot of foods out. So you'll order chips and they'll give you something else, or you'll order an apple and then they'll give you something else because they don't have it. Now, if that's true, I'm not going to shit on Amber. That being said, I mean, we all know Gurley's not eating healthy. She didn't get to be 500 pounds eating broccoli and chicken. Question 8, would you ever have a threesome? To which Amber replies, no. I mean, Like, I know I'm acting pretty feisty in this, like, comment section. Like, this particular video, I've already been a dick so many times, but, like, we all know Amber is, like, a pillow princess. She's not the type of person to be giving anything out. So, like, Amber would be the one just sitting there doing nothing while the other people did all the work. Question 9. Have you ever done something in your relationship you really regretted? Yes, I can tell you right now without even answering Amber's question. Yes, there is so many different things that Amber has done that I am amazed that people still date her. Like, starting off with Crystal, she is admitted to putting her hands on Crystal on her RSFN questions, and then she's justified that. She's justified on screaming at Crystal, treating her like absolute garbage. She is justified trying to defend putting her hands on Casey, the potential SA allegations, the stuff with Wifey, the stuff with Beck, treating like Beck like absolute dog shit. There's the stuff with Destiny and keeping both Destiny and Beck away from their mothers. Now, me personally, I would never be in a situation where I would keep someone away from their family members, but even if I had great disdain for my mother-in-law or my father-in-law, I would never, ever keep my partner away from them, especially if it's their last chance to say goodbye. Like, that alone gives Amber a special place in hell. And that might sound a little bad, but if there is a place in hell, and I don't believe hell even exists, but there would be a special place just for Amber for that alone. Moving on to question 10, we have, would you ever go ghost hunting? To which Amber replies, yes. Now, I feel like this is a bit of a slight at Beck, because Beck is more into that type of stuff. Although, I would have to admit, having a ghost hunting show where you see Amber like waddle run away from a ghost chasing her, that would be like peak entertainment for me. Like, I would just be so goddamn giddy the entire time. I'd probably be in tears laughing my ass off. Moving on to question 11, we have you ever done anything spicy over the phone / on FaceTime? To which Amber replies, yes. And the other thing I have to say is I hope and pray for that poor innocent FBI agent that has to watch that scene unfold through Amber's camera. Like, their mental health must be absolutely shocked, because goddamn would that be one hell of a scene. Moving on to question 12, we have you gained over 50 pounds? To which Amber replied, no. I feel like it would either be 1, Amber is lying, or 2, Amber is kind of telling like a half truth where it's like, oh, it's not 50 pounds, it's just 49 pounds. So not exactly 50, but close enough. Moving to question 13, we have, if you could go back in time, would you still have a career on YouTube? To which Amber says yes. And this is like one of the stupidest questions ever, because obviously she would. She wouldn't be able to have her obsessions otherwise. Like, if she had a 9-to-5 job, she wouldn't be able to just show up for 8 minutes and they call it a day and get paid hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Like, she has to put in work in order to have a 9-to-5, and Amber isn't going to be putting on work because she wouldn't be able to do the things that she wants to do, which is lounge around all day, messaging her girlfriend, and occasionally sending a tartar pic while eating some food. Moving on to question 14, we have you ever thought about starting an OnlyFans? Which I'm pretty sure she actually does have an OnlyFans, but I don't think there's anything explicit on it, and there's not really anything that she has done in a very long time. That being said, I think the majority of the people who would review her content would either be people who are into fetishism, morbidly obese women, or people just trying to take the piss out of her by reviewing her content online. Now, obviously, you can't repost stuff because it's think it's illegal. You can't do that on OnlyFans. Also, if you do it on YouTube, you're gonna get banned. But I think it's more so geared towards the idea of really talking about what they see on camera while they watch the content itself. And I've seen videos like that, and they are flat out hilarious. But I think that would really give her like a name for herself, like a certain type of label that she doesn't want to be attributed to her. Like, even though she's dating a feeder, she wouldn't want to be known as a feeder or a feedee or someone who makes feeder content. And that would be the majority of the people who would want to see her do those things. They would actively try to get her to do those things. And knowing Amber, she would probably potentially either break or do it and try to play it off as of like, well, this is what people want, so therefore I'm just going to do it. And I think once she gets that label, she would probably not really be able to accept it, and it would cause a lot of problems for her. She would not be able to really accept that label for herself, and that would cause her to be extremely aggressive online. Moving on to question 15, we have, if someone bought you Billy tickets, would you go? To which Ember says yes. it isn't money that's really keeping her from going. I think it's more so the fact that Amber is kind of lazy, so having the ability to really make sure that you get them before they sold out would be issue one. Issue two would be her getting to point A to point B, and then issue three would be Amber sitting or like standing long enough in order for the concert to finish. Like Amber would not be that type of person to do those type of things because I feel like Amber is not someone who does well in crowds. Now, I think probably she might go, you know, she could prove me wrong, but I just don't think that's really her scene. Moving on to the next one, we have, are you scared of dying early? To which Amber replies, yes. Well, I mean, Amber, you're not sure as they're not showing it because you have had the chance to do miracle drugs in order to lose weight, and you failed all of those so far. You have failed weight loss surgery and every single diet. Without fail, you have failed every single time. In fact, you have failed the very first day of your diet several times. The first goddamn day. And then you try to attribute it by saying, oh, well, people just being fat phobic, I have an ED, you know, oh, skinny people die too. Very stupid mentalities that a lot of the fat acceptance community pushes by saying, well, skinny people die too. Okay, but they're not dying from morbid obesity. Like, you have people that die from morbid obesity, millions of people each year, far more than people dying from starvation or from eating disorders relating to being too unhealthy, like being underweight. So where exactly is the fear of dying? Because you're not showing it. Moving on to question 17, I think it is. Out of all of the reaction channels, is Zach one of your top three? To which Amber says, yes. Now, again, this is pretty interesting because Amber is very disrespectful, and she really pointed out how disrespectful she is by making fun of him and his partner breaking up. And Amber tries to like attributing it to her relationships failing, but it's like, Amber, you break up with anyone and everyone within a couple years because they can't stand you. They are repulsed by being near you by the end of the relationships. His relationship is far different from yours, and they had a amicable breakup because it was no longer working out. And he was going through something that was far worse than yours because his relationship spanned over multiple relationships of yours. He went through a very long relationship and then ended up breaking up where you broke up with people who didn't even last half as long as his. So you were acting like a massive bitch in that response you did. I'm starting to realize how comfortable with dropping the F-bomb in these videos that I've gotten to. Like, I've had to cut it out so many times now, so I really got to cut that shit out because my language is getting way too colorful for these videos. Moving on to question 18, and this is going to cause me to rage in a second. Do you have ADHD? To which Amber says, yes. No, she doesn't. She does not have ADHD. She has not been formally diagnosed with ADHD. She is simply taking on the label in order to give us another thing to talk about or complain about or to really make herself a victim about. She tried, but she never got a formal diagnosis. And I cannot stand when people attribute labels to themselves to give themselves another personality trait. That is all people do for the sake of self-diagnosing. They don't do it to fix their own mental health because they may not even have that condition in the first place, and they never go and seek professional help. Otherwise, they may not even really have it, and they'll get called out for it. And I cannot stand when people self-diagnose and pretend like they understand the condition, because in most cases, they don't. They don't know what it's like to have that condition. And I have seen it time and time again with people with autism, and I hate them with a passion. They are one of the few people that I genuinely cannot stand as a group of people. Straight up. Amber is going to make me rage. Without a doubt, I'm going to rage in this video because of shit like this. And like, she already tries to attribute so many bad things to like her BPD. It is not funny. Every single bad thing is, well, I have poor mental health, my BPD. And now she's going to do the same shit with ADHD, and I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Moving on to the next one we have, is sex better with the person you love? To which Amber says yes. And Amber has no idea what the concept of love is. It would be like asking a blind person who has never seen the color red to explain what red is. They would not be able to tell you because they've never seen it. Amber has never actually felt the concept of love, so she would not be able to depict it properly. She thinks Emily sexualizing her and fetishizing her is a form of love. That explains the concept of love in Amber's eyes. Stop asking her these questions. It's pointless because she doesn't understand it. Alright guys, it's future me. I wanted to jump in and say that it kind of sounded a little insensitive the way I spoke about blind people, and like I have no hate on my heart for anyone who happens to be blind or colorblind. I'm simply just pointing out the parallel of Amber not being able to understand the concept of love because she's never really experienced it, because her brain is not fully developed to create those type of connections, and someone who may not be able to accurately depict the color red if they've never seen it before. Like, it's no hate to be like, oh, well, you can't understand the concept of red because you're disabled. It's, if you're not able to really perceive it, you can't really depict it in a way. You can make assumptions or really what you perceive the color to be like, but you're not able to accurately depict it. And it's no hate to anyone who happens to be blind. Like, no shade whatsoever. You guys are perfectly fine, just as valid as anyone else. I just want to make it a point that I'm not, trying to be disrespectful. And I really want to drive that point home, that I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone who may not be able to see colors or see it all. Moving on to another question we have, do you feel bad about Zachary and Michael's breakup? To which Amber says yes. Now, I don't believe that for a second. I believe that Amber is doing damage control because she got the shit chewed out of her for trying to make it about her. Moving on to the next one we have, was it wrong of you to call someone else's diction tea? To which Amber says yes. Now, again, I feel like this is another experience that Amber doesn't necessarily feel bad for, but it connects back to her in a certain way because of her mother, and now she wants people to stop talking about her mother's addiction in a certain way, so therefore she's going to really go, okay guys, I feel bad, so therefore it is wrong, and people should not do it too. Like, it's her trying to kind of be like, hey guys, lay off my mum because I feel bad about what I did. And it's a very, I don't necessarily think she actually cares. Like, I think it's like her trying to really go, all right, whatever, like, I don't care, but I don't want people talking about the people that I care about. And I say care in quotations because Amber only cares about what other people do for her and not actually the people themselves. Not to mention her own addiction as well. Like, she has a food addiction, and so people criticizing her for her food addiction, it's a way of also being like, hey guys, lay off me too, because, I struggle with something that other people struggle about, and, I regret what I said, so people should regret the things that they say about me. It's like a manipulation tactic, the same way that she does, like defending Chantel for certain things. It's her retroactively trying to defend herself while also defending someone else's bad actions. Like, if she defends their actions, be like, well, if I can give other people a second chance, why can't I get a second chance? It's always done for her best interest. Moving on to the next one we have, are you 100% healed in your relationship with your family? To which Emma says no. I mean, of course not. She has said and done things in which caused, I believe, her aunts and cousins to hate her. And honestly, no problem with that. I completely understand. Cut the toxicity out of your life and move on and heal, so that way you don't have to deal with their issues. And I mean, Amber, it's your own bloody fault for really lying in the first place. I'm putting this question here for transparency reasons, and then we're moving on. I'm not even just going to acknowledge it because I'm just so fed up with the stupid sex questions. Would you do an interview with a reaction channel? To which Amber says yes, because apparently she doesn't learn a lesson. Every single time she does a conversation on the phone or on messages or an interview or whatever it may be, it always makes her look worse. No matter what she says, no matter what she does, she refuses to take accountability, and if she does, it's just so fake. She'll take accountability in order to save face, but it is so fake that no one believes her, and it just makes her look worse. So if I was you, Amber, I would just keep on trucking and not even worry about other people's opinions of me, because there's nothing you can do to really fix anyone's opinions at this point. Next one we have you seen the new Beetlejuice movie? To which Amber says no. I want to see this with my sister, and we'll probably see it later on once all of the hype has really died down. It has taken a little bit, but eventually it will probably be either next to no one in the theaters, or it will probably just come out and then we'll watch it then. But I kind of want to wait until everyone else is kind of gone and it's just a dead theater, so I can really just enjoy the movie in peace. Again, we have another one which I'm not even going to really respond to. The only thing I have to say is, Amber, easy with the hair pulling because you're going to look like Chantal. Moving on to the next one we have you ever done Coca-Cola? To which Amber replies, no. No, she's never done Coca-Cola, but she has done rock candy, because apparently Amber will just put anything in her mouth, apparently. Moving on to the next one we have, was the length of your trip planned? And Amber says yes. Now, I almost think that Amber is kind of moving in and she's not telling Tommy, until one day Tommy's like, hey, when are you going home? To which Amber turns to her like a horror movie and be like, what do you mean? I am home. Or some shit like that. I feel like that's what's going to happen. We have another one in these comments, which I'm not interested in talking about. The only thing I do have to talk about is the, by the way, I love you, they can never make me hate you comment. Why are you so desperate for the attention of an abuser? Like, if you really want her that bad, I tell you what, wait until Tommy breaks up with her. That's if Tommy doesn't get a second body. But wait until Tommy breaks up with her, and then you start dating Amber for a couple months. Let's see how much you love her after that. Moving on to the next one, we have, did you really get a strike from YouTube? Karina Kaboom posted about it, to which Amber says no. Honestly, I would have just said yes, because you not posting for 2 weeks really just says more about you being lazy than not actually having a strike. At least you would have a reason not to post, but you had to prove everyone wrong anyway. So, like, you could have just said yeah, and then take the 2 weeks to not post anything and be like, guys, I had no choice. Again, we have another one because Amber can't help but prove that she has the sex with people, so she's got to really drive that point home that she has the sex. Again, we have another one that she has answered like 1,000,000 times. Like, who cares if she's going to be with a man or not, because they're not going to tolerate her shit and they're eventually going to leave her too. Moving on to the next one, we have, do you ever feel like a failure? To which Amber says yes. I don't believe that, because Amber made a slip when she made her last, one of the comments she made in her last Q&A. She said that people are waiting for her to make a simple mistake in order to be perceived as not perfect. So by her own admittance that she said she believes that she is perfect, you can't be a failure and you can't perceive yourself as a failure if you also believe that you are perfect. Again, we have another one asking whether or not she got a strike. She says no again, don't care, we're moving on. Do you regret dating any of your previous partners? To which Amber says no. I don't think she regrets it, but she definitely regrets certain things that she put online. So yeah, I guess she kind of is truthful about that. It's just more so the fact that she regrets certain things that she does in the relationship and then put them online for people to see. Moving on to the next one, we have, do you enjoy being outside? To which Amber says yes. That is a flat out lie. There is times in which she does not even go outside for weeks on end, and that she would rather walk around kitchen tables and counters than going on a short walk for 5 to 10 minutes. That is how much she hates being outside. You know, Amber, at this point, I'm starting to believe that you don't actually have the sex and you're just saying it in order to kind of make it a social currency. Like, nobody talks about it and brags about it this much in order to really drive the point home. Have you watched any reaction channels in the last 3 days? Of course she does. She is a narcissist. She will watch everything that is about her because she feels like she's a reality TV show star and her life is just a TV show for people to enjoy. Do you believe in aliens? To which Amber says yes. Amber, you don't believe that the sun exists and the earth is flat, so why the hell would you believe in aliens? Like, the sun is, some, big ball of cheese in the sky and the earth is a flat disc, but aliens, that they definitely exist. They got to exist. Yeah, they 100% exist. Guys, I've got like another 10 questions to go, and you guys could probably tell just how over Amber's crap I am right now. Like, I'm losing brain cells. Like, it physically is hurting to read these questions and the answers. Do you plan to resume your weight loss vlogs? To which Amber says yes. I mean, we all know how that's going to end, so why even bother? Is there a video of yours you wish never touched the internet? To which Amber says yes. Oh, we definitely know which video that is. Two in particular. There's one of an accusation, and then there's one of a poetry slam that Amber decided to put out. Yeah, we both know which those are. Are you watching H3 live right now? To which Amber says no. Honestly, I don't like H3. I think he's a bit of a twat as well. Is Halloween your favorite holiday? To which Amber says no. We all know it's Christmas because she likes to get gifts and give gifts because that is her love language and that is her ability to hold people under her thumb. Do you still have allergies? Yes. Okay, cool. Moving on. Another stupid pointless question. Moving on. Do you smoke cigarettes? To which Amber says no, but she does vape. Is chemistry a deal breaker for you? To which Amber says yes. Obviously makes sense. She's a physical person. She's a very actual type person. So she's going to really put that in the forefront of her relationships because she doesn't have emotional depth. Have you been in a cop car? To which Amber says yes. That must have been a hell of an experience. I want to know what that was about. Would you do a live stream or do a Q&A with Alexis? To which Amber says yes. Please get Two-Face Lex on. I want to shit talk her. Would you ever call out Mr. Snowflake for flirting with girls in his Discord while being married? To which Amber says no. Again, I don't think this is true. I think this is a false allegation created by one of Foodie Beauty's subscribers, essentially to kind of spread misinformation to prove that misinformation can be spread. It's like, well, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. Again, it could be true, but I haven't seen anything about it, and there is no real evidence that has come out just yet. So if something does come out about it, I will come out and be like, yo, this is what happened. But from what I've seen, it's just Foodie Beauty subscribers spreading misinformation to kind of defend her bad actions. Do you want the Menendez brothers to be released? To which Amber says yes. Again, this is just another pointless question, because if she said no, everyone's just going to rag on her. If she says yes, she probably doesn't even know what it's about. And if she did, it's only purely just to be on the side of, like, the winning side, or, like, the side of morality. Like, she probably doesn't care one way or another. Do you have a disease? To which Amber replies, no. I mean, even if she did, I don't know whether or not she would tell us, like, because that would seriously hurt her chances of potentially getting a partner. But I would like to believe, or, like to believe that Amber would have the morality to actually tell us the truth and tell people the truth, especially anyone she may potentially sleep with. Have you ever been on a roller coaster, and did you enjoy it? Now, me personally, I love roller coasters, but it is one of those things that I enjoy the thrill of going on rides, but then I also hate the fact that I'm on a ride because I get overwhelmed very easy. It's a weird, very, very, very weird thing for me. Like, I love the thrill of it, but I hate the experience of it. Have you ever had an ugly altercation with a fan in person? To which Amber says no. I feel like anyone who would be more so a hater towards Amber would probably be someone to take photos or videos from afar, where if you have someone who actually likes Amber, they have to be some sort of level of delusion in order to like her, so they're probably going to be an ass kisser. Moving on to the last one, we have, would you get freaky with whipped cream in any form? To which Amber says yes. Surprise, surprise, the 600-pound girly pop is going to do some freaky shit with some whipped cream. Amber, you're not helping the allegations. None of the slightest. Like, if you were 120 pounds and you got freaky with some shit, people wouldn't care in the slightest, but you're 600 pounds and people are like, oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt in my mind. Alright guys, this is gonna be the end of the video. I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm not making any more videos. It's past my bedtime. I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna have night terrors of, like, Amber chasing me around with whipped cream or some shit. But thank you for watching the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I do apologize for nearly wanting to just yeet myself at the closest window, but hopefully I get to see you guys in the next one. See you then. Bye bye.